So this is a new horse that just come in. Her name is Jewel. They said she's a 6-year-old quarter horse mare. They bought her. She was supposed to be broke. They got her home. They've been on her bareback, but they've never saddled, never been on her. They said when they got on her bareback, they didn't have any steered and any stopped. So they was afraid to go any further than that. I just got her out of the stall. She about knocked me down coming out of the stall. You see out here, she's not respectful of my space. That needs to be better before I put a saddle on her. She needs to respect my space. She needs to respect what I'm asking her to do. So she's not even hardly making contact with me. She's looking at everything all around her. So what I'm going to do first, I'm not one to lunge to wear a horse down. I've talked about that before. But I want to get her mind in a place where she's willing to do what I ask her to do. So I'm going to grab my lunge whip. My lunge line's already out there. I'm going to go ahead and put the bridle on her. I'm not going to lunge her from the bridle. I will lunge her from the halter, but I want her to wear the bridle. See right here, I'm haltering her, I'm bridling her, and she's not even paying attention to me. She's not worried about the bridle. She's wanting to look over there. That has to be fixed. That is a problem. That tells me that I need to address that before we go further. If she's not respecting my instruction here, then she's not going to respect my instruction when we go further. And she wasn't scared of getting the halter put on, or the bridle put on. So that tells me she has been bridled. She opened her mouth. So I know she has been bridled. And we're there, but she doesn't respect me telling her what to do. So let's put her on lunge line right there. And see this shoulder right here, she's kind of walking behind me and pushing into my space. That's all the little things that you have to be aware of right there. She bumped into me again. That's the little things that you have to be aware of. That's little now, but will become dangerous later. And that's why it has to be addressed now before somebody gets hurt. That's the kind of things people ignore and say, oh, it was an accident or she didn't mean to. And then you end up with a horse with a real problem. Now, I don't want her to lunge fast. I'm not going to ask her to go fast. I'm also not going to send her out on a really long line, because I want her attention on me. The goal of this exercise is to pay attention to me. I'm not trying to wear her down physically. I want her mind to say, what do you want me to do? Meet her at the wall, 2 eyes, and send. I'm going to change directions about every second or third time around. Send. Notice how when I send, she's not going back out in her circle. She's more coming across towards me. That's also a big red flag, something that needs to be watched for. Even though she's not running through my space, she's running towards my space. So she is challenging my space. That was better. She is challenging my space to see if I'm going to do anything about it. This is where we're establishing who the leader is. This is where if you don't address those little things, you end up with bigger problems later. I'm going to address those little things now so that we can keep advancing. It was better. Now what I'm going to do, because when she turns to the right, that's when she's challenging my space. When I send her forward with the whip, I'm gonna send her forward with the whip going towards her shoulder, because the shoulder is what needs to go away. The shoulder is what needs to move. Get the shoulder out. Shoulder has to move. One more circle, then I'll change directions again. That horse out there started running. She started ignoring me. I don't care what happens. You have to pay attention to me. If she doesn't pay attention to me, and I don't pay attention to these little things, me or her owner is going to get hurt. Address the little things, and you won't have any big things. Address the little problems, the big problems will take care of themselves. Just as simple as how she makes that turn. Pay attention over here. At some point, something's going to be done with this horse. Might be showing judged events, might be barrel race, might be trail ridden. At this point, it don't really matter. Whatever that is, she needs to learn to keep her attention on the handler or on the rider, no matter what's going on around her. Right now, she's preoccupied with this horse out here. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what that horse does. I'm gonna give her a little bump her on her face with the halter. I put the bit in, but I'm not attached to it. I'm attached to the halter. She has to have her attention on me, not that horse out there. See her looking at that horse? There we go. Got to pay attention to me. I can't teach her anything. Now right there, she come towards me. I didn't do nothing about it that time, but I'll be ready next time. She does that again, the whip's gonna go towards her shoulder. And I did hit her with the whip that time. And if you don't like that, you'll probably be the one to get run over by your horse. Not gonna let her run over me. Not gonna let her do bad habits that's gonna let her run over her owner. Go forward. She has to respect my space. Change directions, meet her at the wall, 2 eyes, send, send. I had that gelding Denali that was doing a lot of real similar things, except he was a little worse than her. And he has turned out to be really nice now. She's going to end up nice with this part too. She has to respect my space, respect my instruction. 2 eyes, send. See how she's turning to look at that horse, trying to avoid my instruction. Now I could put that horse up, and then I would be taking away this horse's distraction. But if I was to do that, then I'd not be fixing the problem. I'm going to create real life situations when I'm training a horse. This horse needs to have her attention on me no matter what's going on around us. We need that same thing. Now, 2 eyes, send. Send. We need that same thing now. We need that later when this horse is doing something with its owner, whatever that is. So go. I always use ask, tell, demand. I've talked about that in several videos. Depending on what I'm doing, I'll ask first. How I ask is going to depend on what I'm doing. Then I'll tell. Then I'll demand. This horse does anything towards being something that's going to get me hurt, like trying to come to my space, I'm not going to go easy. This whip is not going to hurt that hard. It's not going to hurt the horse. Going to hurt a whole lot right there. See the horse turn into the whip? Go. Me swatting this horse right now with the whip is going to hurt the horse a whole lot less than this owner going to the emergency room because the horse ran into or ran over or stepped on or something like that. Better. Still kind of come across my space. I'd like that to be better, but that was better than the last turn. I'll accept it as improvement. Thought about running towards me. Come on. It's getting a little bit winded. Hearing a little bit of nasal sound I'm not too crazy about. I have to pay attention to that. You done? You gonna be good now? Let's go see how she saddles. Don't run through my space. She's got a big horsefly bothering her. Just like everything else with distractions. She needs to do what I ask. She has to earn that fly spray. Right now she hasn't earned it. She pays attention to me when there's a fly distracting her, and she's earned the fly spray. This horse has been saddled before. I'm out here with her on the lunge line just in case she was to buck or do something bad, because the owner didn't really know. She's supposed to be broke, but they don't know, and I don't know. So I'm out here with her on a lunge line like I would saddle a green horse, but I'm handling the saddle and everything like she's a broke horse. I just threw the pad up there. I just threw the saddle up there. Really didn't do anything to prepare her. I have the saddle snug, but it's not tight enough to stay on if she was to buck. I do want to go ahead and get it tight enough where it's going to stay on. There we go. You gonna let me knock it off? There you go. Good girl. You let me help you, life will be good for both of us. Okay. Let's see what she does now. Just want her to move her feet. Change directions. She's going to buck. This will be when it's going to be, typically. Go. Go. There we go. Not bad. She's a little tight in her back. You notice she's short striding in her travel. After I put the saddle on, it does not mean the saddle's bad fitting, does not mean she has a sore back. It means her back muscles are tight because she just hasn't been saddled enough times. She's just starting off a little tight. That'll work itself out. Let's go the other way. There we go. Not too bad so far. Let's see how much steering she's got. Let her wait to figure out I'm not sending her anymore. Good girl. Good girl. You want to come to me? Now I'll let you come to me. Now you can't really see from that angle, but she's not coming right to me. She's coming to the side. That's what I want. I don't want her coming right straight on. If something was to happen, she would spook or something, she would be coming right towards my space. I want her coming next to my space. That's what she's doing. Good job. Good girl. Good girl. Now I'm going to move the driving line to the halter on the side. Don't back, don't run into me. It's attached to the halter. Let's see what she does when the reins get around her legs. I know a lot of people don't drive when they start their horses. I always do. So just because they don't understand what I'm asking for here doesn't necessarily mean there's a problem. It's just a step that I always do that some people don't. You see, pretty okay with stuff around her legs. I have her head here so that she cannot turn her butt to me to kick me. If she goes to turn her butt to me, she's going to hit the end of this line. Not too bad. Let's go over here. I always drive without running the lines through the stirrups. Some big advantages there when you work a lot of green horses. So you'll see the reins are not going to be run through the stirrups. Running through the stirrups does make driving easier, but I can teach more this way. Now let's see if we got any steering. Let's go to the right. A little bit of pressure on the right rein. See if she'll follow her nose. There you go. Follow your nose. Now let's hold it a second, see if she'll give. I'm gonna step to the right so that I'm not in the vision of her left eye. Now let's see if she'll follow her nose around to find me. Use the same voice cues I'm going to use in the saddle. Not going to force this movement, but I'm going to put her in a position where giving me what I'm asking for is easier than staying there. Come on. She's kind of leaning on it now. Come on. Follow your nose. Follow your nose. There you go. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Follow your nose a little more. Come on, there you go. Good girl. Good girl. All right, let's go back to the left. Follow your nose to the left. Good girl. Good girl. Keep going. Now she's backing in the turnaround. It's not really what I want, but I'm not going to do anything drastic about it right now. We'll get some forward here in just a minute. Good girl. Now the turn to the left. Come on. Come on, there, come on, there you go. She's trying to turn and face me, which is normal. There we go, let's get some forward. Good girl, good girl. Now since I don't have the reins run through the stirrup, if she was to panic and just run forward, I can just hold the left rein or whatever happens to be the inside rein and let her basically just lunge around me. Then from there, I can work that back into driving again. Or if I had it run through the stirrup, I wouldn't be able to do that. See right there. If I had them run through the stirrup, there's no way. If I tried to keep up with her, I wouldn't be able to. She'd feel like something was chasing her and then she'd get in a bind. Right then, I just went to lunging. A lunging position, and then she just came back down on her own. She's figuring it out. I like that. I like that she's trying to figure things out. Let's go forward. Good girl. Go forward. Good girl. Good girl. Trying to turn to me. Just hasn't quite figured out what she's supposed to do. Again, I have the driving lines attached to the halter, not the bit. I'm not pulling on the bit. I'm not pulling on her mouth, pulling on the halter. Again, she's trotting forward again. I'm just going to hold this left line, let my right line slide out just a little bit. Try to keep it up over hocks. Now we're going to go back to driving again. The hardest part of teaching a horse to drive is changing directions from left to right when they swap seeing you from one eye to the other. So if you're trying to teach your horse to drive and you're having trouble with that change of directions, just work with it, don't panic. And it'll come. Right rein, go back into a little bit of a lunge. There we go. Wait for her to relax back into it. Good girl. See, that happened when we switched to the right side. And it took her those, now she's trying to bring me back on the left. And it took a minute for her to engage that right eye on me and understand what we were doing. That's part of working both sides of the horse. Work back towards driving, a little bit behind her. Good girl. We're going to go out here and we're going to change directions again. The owner said this horse didn't have any steering when they got on her. And I can definitely see that. She don't have any steering from the ground. She don't know how to follow her nose. So that's the first thing we're going to be working on. Spend some time working on that when she gets her steering. Then I'll get on her back. She didn't seem like she wanted to buck, but we'll see. So this is, I think her name was Pearl, I think. Jewel, yeah, this is Jewel. That's close with Pearl. So this is Jewel, and we'll be doing more videos showing her progress. Until next time, thank you for watching.